So this is for my trade room, and it isn't really so much for public discourse, but I need a location to put all these, so I'm just going to start streaming them up here. So if you're not in my trade room, this might be interesting for you to view, but it's not financial advice, so please don't take trades off. All right, so for my guys, let's run through the different pairs. Let's have a look at pullback there. That was a setup that's taken off, but there's no setup now. Sterling, that was a valid setup there. We were looking to see if, because of this and the bearish divergence, we were looking to see if potentially this would run out of steam. So we're looking to see if that's going to be the case. No setup there now. No setup for Aussie dollar. This was not triggered. And yeah, I don't like the look of this trend anymore, so I'm just going to take that away. I don't think there's anything there for us. Dollar yen. Okay, dollar yen, this would be a setup. There's a level of resistance there, just be aware of that. Sorry, also I'm fighting a cold, which is why I'm... So that is a valid setup. So let's have a look. It may not trigger, but I'm just going to mark that as a potential end of day setup. Dollar Swissy is on its way. There's no setup here. No setup. Euro GBP, no setup. There's a valid setup, so here we go. There's our Euro Yen setup. No setup for Euro Swissy. Euro CAD is triggered. Setup today though. Euro Aussie, that was our last one as well, so that was a valid setup, but I think it had a Kiwi. This would potentially be a setup here, so possibly these. So nice uptrend, pullback, potential level of support. That's a potential setup there. Potential setup as well on pound yen. Pound Swissy, no setup. Pound CAD is in play. Looks kind of Aussie as well. There's a nice little setup there as well. Pound Kiwi, possible setup here as well. Okay, so potential setup. Aussie Kiwi, no setup. Aussie CAD, no setup. We spoke about that being a triple bottom, so that's taken off. No setup today, but actually this trend looks, this would have been that setup there that's been triggered. Okay, so there's no setup today, but it's triggered. This is a potential setup. This is a very strong rejection off that level, but it is arguably a setup within an uptrend. It's not the best one. It's not the best one. Don't like it. Kiwi CAD, no setup. Kiwi Swissy, possible setup over here. We could potentially get inside bearish candle to the downside. Kiwi Yen, technically a setup, but it's also, again, by the way, also, so those are my concerns with those ones. And again, also here, potential setup. Swissy Yen, absolutely a bit of a setup over here. And CAD Swissy, no setup. All right, so let's go ahead and have a look at gold. Let's look at other things here. Okay. Nothing here. Broken through that weekly candle. It's just very choppy. It's not very cool. Silver, that was a very strong bullish engulfing, but you can see how crisp it is battling with that level of 2540, so not really liking anything there. Nothing on copper. Natural gas is still got bullish divergence, so I want to see if we get West Texas crude breaking down, so Brent crude dropping down, looking quite bearish there. Wheat, there we go, there's our correction. So wheat pulling back into this area here that will be looking for a potential short later this week. Coffee, no setup at this time. Sugar late setup here. However, that week could be starting a retracement, which we back down towards 2022, which puts it down into about this area. No setup, it's just a mess. Okay, so on the indices, nothing. Excuse me, nothing. Again, just see all these little small bullets to the upside. That stuff there could be a potential move, but it's not a trade setup. I don't like it at all. This is not bad. That's a nice little bullish candle off support. You can see bullish move up, pulls back, bullish